I am here with Eric from Community One. Eric, can you tell us just a little bit about what you do here?
Yes, I am the resident engagement specialist here at Community One. And what I do basically is connect neighbors to the neighborhood plan for change and build relationships with them. The neighborhood has voiced that they want to see these different priorities in their neighborhood, different goals that they may have. They want to see these things come to fruition. So I try to bring neighbors into that plan for change themselves so they can be the change that they want to see.
So Eric, what impact have you seen through your work as a result of Promise Neighborhood?
Yes, I think one of the greatest impacts that I've seen from the Promise Neighborhood Network is just being able to continue some of the foundational work that we've already set in place and that we've already been doing and extend our footprint to a new neighborhood, which is Glenwood. I think that's probably the biggest impact that we've been able to see, just being able to continue and not have any pauses or stops in our work or wondering what's going to happen next, but we've been able to continue some of the foundational work in the neighborhood.
You mentioned an action plan. What does that look like for a neighborhood?
Yeah, so a action plan or a plan for change, it's a process. So what we do is gather information, wants, needs, passions, and desires from neighbors that live in the neighborhood, whatever neighborhood that may be Glenwood, TP Park, Lamasco. We have them come to a meeting and say, hey, let us hear what you want to have happen. Let us see your passions. What do you desire to happen in your neighborhood? And then they give voice to that. And then we build it up in a brochure and we say, hey, this is the plan for change that the neighbors and residents voiced in the neighborhood. And we try to bring neighbors into that plan for change and make that action happen. So done for neighbors by neighbors in a sense.
What's the next step after those action plans are created, and how does the community and maybe even people outside of that neighborhood can plug into the work?
Yeah, it's a lot of different ways to plug into that work. I think one of the biggest things that pushes and drives that action plan or plan for change is action projects. Action projects are something great that we have in the neighborhood. Is basically any neighbor that lives in the neighborhood, any given neighborhood that we have the LYN footprint in, coming together and getting $250 to $1,000 to push one of the bullet points or one of the goals in the plan for change forward, whatever that it may be. It could be a garden that the neighborhood wants to see, so somebody can apply for an action project to get a garden. We always want to invite stakeholders into the process. Anybody that has any vested interest in the neighborhoods that we're in, we want you to come out and take part in what we have going on. We need stakeholders. We need people that's outside the community that can advocate for these other neighborhoods that are more than likely probably underserved. So we need those voices outside of the neighborhood that can advocate, that can partner with, and also more importantly, listen to what's going on in the neighborhood and the needs of the neighborhood and the wants and the passions of the neighborhood. So
I think that's something that Community One does really well, is just listening, kind of putting all those thoughts together and like, all right, here are the tangible things that people can invest in. And Promise Neighborhood does that on like a larger scale of just listening to even the grant process. What are the needs of the neighborhood, bringing in the partners and plugging in the resources. So it's both important to listen and gather the information, but we need the resources and the investment.
That's good. Our framework is listen. First, we want to listen to neighbors and people. Align. We want to align with what they say and what they want. Act and then measure. So we want to act on what neighbors have voiced, and we want to bring people into that plan or action plan or whatever. And we want to measure. After we get done taking action, we want to say, hey, is this what you meant? Is this what you hope to accomplish by what you said and what we implemented? So yeah, that's how we lead, with listening.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Eric, for joining us this week. And viewers, tune in next week for our next Power and Partnership. Bye.